everybody, it's the War Hipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting the Breaka Boss on Mirebrute Troggoth. It's been a long time coming, but we're finally doing it. So here it is. It's a wonderful little model. Well, it's not actually that little, it's quite big, for the Cruel Boys. And, well, it seems as fitting time as any to do this sort of thing. So we're going to jump in and we're going to start painting him. He has been primed in grey Seer, just like the rest of our Cruel Boys. And the colour we're going to be using first is Seraphim Sepia. Now we're going to be using this over the kind of softer bits of his skin. So this is going to include areas like his tummy. And we just want to get this all over, like that sort of thing. Take it right up underneath the armpit, and then we want to keep going. Like this sort of thing. We want to apply this over top of the neck. Again, just coming up to that kind of crease there. And come right underneath a bit of fabric, like that. Just like so. We then want to bring this up over the chin. Up the cheek and over the nose. Just like that. And then we're going to continue this work on the chest. Again, just coming right under there. Like so. And then we're also going to apply this basically over the top of the bicep. Like that. And then over this muscle, whose name I don't know. Like that. Flip it round. Make sure we're getting it all. Just like that. And then one thing to just bear in mind is that the tummy bit comes round like so. And then we're just going to continue on the other arm. with all that Seraphim Sepia applied, we're then going to take Gryph-Charger Grey. And we're going to apply this over top of the rest of his flesh. Don't worry about doing any blending or anything just yet. We'll be getting to that in just a minute. But for now, we're going to apply this over the top of the rest of the hide. Just like this. With all of that Gryph-Charger Grey now applied and fully dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Poxwalker. This is where the blending thing starts. So, I'm going to start just here on the legs. And we're going to start applying this over top. Just like this. Where we're going to get to the knee. And we're kind of just going to go around the knee. Like that. However, we do need to wash the brush. Touch off the water, and then at the sides of the knee, just blend it a little bit like that. Nice and simple. Then we're going to bring the Poxwalker down to the kind of tops of the toes. Like so. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and then give it the blends like that. We do now need to finish off the legs so we don't have any awkward drying lines. So we're going to do just that. But this will go double for the other leg, of course. There we go. Slightly heavy on the shading just there. Excellent. Now, what we're going to do is on all the other areas, we're also going to add the blending. So, I'm going to start just up here on this shoulder. We're going to apply the Poxwalker all over the scales. Just like that. Then, we're going to apply it over the top of a little bit of the Seraphim Sepia, like that. And then going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then just give it the blend, like that. Back to the Poxwalker. Around the bicep we go. Like that, in a sort of arc. Wash the brush. And then give it the blends. Like that. Make sure we get it over the rest of the scales back here. However, much like with the knee, in a moment, what we're going to do, we're going to do the kind of the trickiest bit really, which is to get this all over, like so. Bring it down a little bit over the hand. Bring it around the arm on both sides, like so. Wash the brush, and then all the way along that. We give it the blend. Just like that. And then we just continue this around anywhere where we have the two colours kind of intersecting. Whilst we're waiting for all that to dry, in the interest of time, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Snakebite Leather and we're going to apply this over the top of the kind of animal fur slash, well, it's kind of the Troggoth's pants. With that done, all the Poxwalker should be dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Terradon Turquoise, and just around the shoulders and the back, we're going to apply a little bit of this Terradon Turquoise, just like that sort of amount. Then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're just going to blend it in. Like that. So you end up with the darkest parts towards the top. Like so. And then we do the same thing. Well, we don't really need to do any blending on the back here. We can just apply the Terradon Turquoise like so. But around this corner of the neck, you will want to just give it a quick wash, a quick touch, and then a little blend around that corner, like so. And we'll do this on the other side as well. So with that Terradon Turquoise applied, we're now going to take some Black Legion. I'm going to use this over the top of all of these ropes. With that Black Legion now all applied, we're then going to take some Cygor Brown. I'm going to apply this over the top of this large pouch. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Blood Angels Red. And we're going to apply this over the top of the... Well, it's kind of a scare shield, isn't it? But the face tummy armor thing. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Wyldwood. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of the wood. And there is rather a lot of it. So we've got both the weapons, but we've also got the large trunk on his back. So with all of that Wyldwood applied, we're then going to take Black Templar. And we're going to apply this over the top of the hair. So next up, the colour we're going to use is Skeleton Horde. I'm going to apply this over the top of all of these bones down here, but also over the top of the Troggoth's teeth. So with that all done, we're going to once again use some Cygor Brown. And we're going to apply this over the top of the, well, I guess it's a saddle blanket. Like that. What we're also going to do with the Cygor Brown is we're going to apply this over the top of the kind of pelt up here on the Breaka Boss. And with all that Cygor Brown applied, we're then going to take Gutrippa Flesh. I'm going to apply this over the top of the skin of the Orruk. With all that Gutrippa Flesh applied, we're then going to take some Snakebite Leather. Once again, applying this over top of the furry animal pelt. On the Breaka Boss. With that then done, we're going to take some Gore-Grunta Fur. I'm going to apply this over the top of the ropes that make up the braces on the arms. But we're not going to apply this over the top of all of the ropes. You can probably already guess what those are going to be. As I'm sure you've probably already predicted, the next colour we're going to use is Black Legion. I'm going to use this over the top of all of the remaining ropes. With that then done, we're going to take some Blood Angel's Red. I'm going to apply this over the top of his tummy armor. And so with that done, one thing we forgot to do on the actual Troggoth itself is these bits of, well, it's kind of skin. So the colour we're using is Guilliman Flesh. And one thing we're also going to do with the Guilliman Flesh is going to use this to pick out the nipples. Of our Troggoth. Like that. With that Guilliman Flesh all applied, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde. We're going to apply this over top of the bone. Just here. Like this. There's also one other hanging off the pelt. Down here. Like that. So with that all done, it's now time to work on all the metallics. And the first of these is going to be some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to be applying this over pretty much most of the remaining details. There is the occasional little armor plate here and there, or little kind of the eyes, for example, on the red armor that we're not going to do because we're going to do that in a different color. But ultimately at this point the choice can be up to you. You can just go for all Iron Warriors, or you can leave some of it like I'm going to. We're just going to start here on this weapon and work our way around the rest of the model. So with that all done, it's now time to take some thins down Runelord Brass. And we're going to apply this over the top of our remaining metallic details. So I've got these beaten panels on the club. So with that all done, we've got all of our base coats now on our model. So what we're going to do is going to add some shades. And the first of these is going to be some Agrax Earthshade. And we're going to use this to shade our Snakebite Leather pelts. With all of that Agrax Earthshade applied, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil. And we're going to use this to shade all of that silver if you get a bubble like I've got there, just wash your brush and just use a clean brush to just pop it. And one thing we're also going to do with the Nuln Oil is apply this over the top of the hair of the Brute Troggoth, Mirebrute Troggoth. With that then done, we take some Fyreslayer Flesh and we're going to apply this over the top of the Runelord Brass. And with that then done, we take some Biel-Tan Green. I'm going to use this to shade the Orruks Flesh. With all those shades applied, our Breaka Boss on Mirebrute Troggoth is now what I would call a War Hipster battle ready, and it's looking pretty good. However, we are of course not going to leave it there. We're going to take it to the next level. I'm going to do this by adding some highlights. Now the first of these is going to be some Deepkin Flesh, and we're going to very gently now dry brush this over top of all of our green scales. We want to go over the top of these toenails, for example, as well. We're just being really gentle here, just so that we can build it up rather than have to kind of get it right the first time. So it might take a couple of passes, but we just want to steadily build up this Deepkin Flesh. Dry brush over the top. Just like this. And if you want to as well, you can also gently dry brush this over the top of these ropes and things. And the hair of the Troggoth. With that Deepkin Flesh dry brush all applied, we're then going to do another dry brush of some Karak Stone. I'm going to dry brush this over the top of all of the wood. Again, just being really gentle here. So with that then done, we've got one more dry brush to apply, which is going to be some Ungor Flesh. And we're going to use this to very carefully now dry brush both of our Snakebite Leather pelts. So with that Ungor Flesh dry brush applied, we're now going to take some thinned down Fire Dragon Bright. And we're going to use this to highlight both of the red bits of armor. We want to pick out all of the edges here, but don't worry if it's a little bit too stark, because we're going to do a thing afterwards. So with all that Fire Dragon Bright applied, we're going to do something we haven't done for a very long time, which is to take a roughly 6 parts contrast medium to 1 part Flesh Tearers red mix. I'm going to apply this all over the top. So with that then done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Volupus Pink. I'm going to apply this into the flesh around here, but we're going to kind of blend it and stipple it. So we take the Volupus Pink, We're just going to apply this over the top. Of the whole area. Like that. Then we're going to wash the brush. Touch off the water. Then we're just going to go in there. Like this. And stipple away most of it. Absorbing and moving the paint. Just creating a slight sense of bruising around it. Like so. So with that then done, we're going to once again take some Deepkin Flesh. I'm going to use this to do two things. So the first thing we want to do is take a really small amount of this and actually just apply this over the top of the eyeball of the Troggoth. Like that. The other thing we're going to do with the Deepkin Flesh is we're going to use this to highlight the skin of our Orruk. So with that all done, it's now time to take some thinned down Night Questor Flesh. And we're going to use this to highlight the saddle blanket and the pelt around the boss's shoulders. With all that Night Questor Flesh applied, we then want to take a tiny amount of Evil Sunz Scarlet. And we want to use this over the top of that boss's one good eye. With that then done, we want to take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh. We want to use this to highlight these sort of fleshy bits, I guess. With that then done, we want to take some thinned down Screaming Skull and we want to use this to highlight the teeth. As well as the skull around the boss's face. With that all done, we're going to do another thing we haven't done for a long time, which is to take some thinned down Iron Hand Steel. I'm going to use this to highlight all the silver. So with that done, believe it or not, we're now actually going to finish off the model by taking some thinned down Sycorax Bronze. We'll use this to highlight our brassy areas. actually thinking about it, there is one more thing left to do. So the last thing we're going to do is take a little bit of Terradon Turquoise. And we're going to apply this over top of some of these large rivets. Not all of them. We're going to apply this over this one. And we'll go for this one. Like that. And then we're also going to apply just a small amount of this over one side of the eye on the tummy, like that. And with his base now complete, our Breaka Boss on Mirebrute Troggoth is now finished. And again, I know this one has been a long time coming, and a lot of you have been asking for it for a while, so finally we've managed to find the time to be able to build up and paint one, and I hope it doesn't disappoint. There's only one thing left after this, the Marshcrawler Sloggoth. I guess I'll have to find some more time to paint that one. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.